Oh my god. Hi, Ima.
And I can't find my heart.
So these was like our pictures, and we have a few videos of the actual like evidence scene where the crime was supposedly had gone down. There was a bullet hole in the wall, blood splatter, blood trail, chemicals on the floor, and even bloody scissors. After we looked over the crime scene, seeing all of the things on the floor, we decided to get all of our evidence up front. So we tested the blood in the blood trail and on the floor in the poolings, all of that. We tested for fingerprints. We tested the bullet hole in the wall. We tested the chemicals on the floor, all of that, to figure out what kind of stuff we were working with. And that came really helpful when we went to interview teachers. We figured, hey, it had to be someone who knew chemicals and knew a ton of different information. Okay, so I got the recording.
Okay, so Mr. Guthrie, how long were you in the school building on Monday?
On Monday till about 3:30.
What time did you come into school that day?
That day?
Yeah, Monday.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, okay. Okay, when did you walk into the building and discover the scene?
Tuesday at 8:05.
Okay, do you know anything about Mrs. Parker and any other employees, like, getting in a fight or, like, having issues with each other?
I knew that Ima and Corinne, so Body and Parker, didn't get along at all. There was something going on there personal.
Okay.
Really, Ima was a huge flirt and made people uncomfortable. So there's some issues there. I mean, she made me feel uncomfortable, so I kind of avoided her. So.
When have you seen Mrs. Body any time after the murder at all?
I'm not sure if there was a murder, but I haven't seen her for the last 2 days.
Okay.
Let's go ask the office. They may know.
Okay. Did any teachers come into your classroom after school after all the students left?
When?
After school, after all the students left, were there any teachers who entered your room at all that day?
Grant came in and we talked about, outdoorsman stuff. Ima and I talked on Monday about 2-ish. We talked about like organization and stuff.
Okay. Did you give anyone permission to enter your room after you left the building?
I always lock it.
Okay. Do you think there's any way that anyone could have possibly gotten into your classroom if you left?
Oh yeah, all the science teachers have keys. The janitors have keys. The administration have keys. Ima has a key. There's a lot.
Okay. Can you describe like the general way that your like day happened on Monday, like your schedule?
Monday?
Yeah, like what happened?
Yeah, it was normal. I met with students in the morning, met with teachers and collaborated, and then left at 3:30.
Okay. Did Mrs. Parker have any close relationships with any of her coworkers, like friends?
She's
or
pretty
anything?
cold.
Okay.
Yeah. She's pretty cold. She's not friendly with anybody.
Do you know about her relationship with Mrs. Sandy at all?
They don't get along either. There's some history back in college with that. I'm not sure what it is, but Ms. Parker's always kind of picking on Miss Sandy's because she's new.
Okay. Thank you. I believe that is all.
Okay.
Yep.
Easy to see the paper.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So I was just wondering, what's your relationship with like Guthrie?
We teach. We're science teachers.
Okay. And how's your relationship with Miss Sandy?
Good.
That's good. That's good. Do you know anything? Oh, do you know anything about the crime that happened Monday night?
I don't know too much about it.
Okay, that's good.
Have you seen Mrs. I'm a Body at all after the alleged murder?
I have not.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for me?
Do you know anything about Mrs. Parker having issues with I'm a Body at all?
That one I don't.
Okay.
Would you say that her and Mrs. Sandy were close, or at least talked a little bit, or friendly?
Yeah, they talk to each other all the time.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Nope, I think that's all. Thank you, Mr. What is your relationship with Mrs. Parker? Okay. Would you say your relationship with her is like a decent one? Yeah. Okay. Did you guys ever have any issues with each other in college or anything? Okay. And what were you guys talking about?
A lab.
What kind of lab? Okay. What were do you know the type of fluids that were in the vials she was showing you? No? Okay. When you guys were discussing, why did you seem so unsure and like on ease, almost uncomfortable?
That's just me. This is having in class before. So you should know.
Yeah, but you seem pretty calm and relaxed right now, not really anxious.
I just had coffee.
Okay.
Is there an assembly today?
Yeah.
What time?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's second hour. It's in
Where's the
second hour.
schedule for it? Are we just waiting to see if the bell rings and then run?
I had a meeting and people have been harassing me.
We have been, yeah.
Okay. Do you know anything about the fight Mrs. Parker had with Ima? Do you know maybe like why they have issues and why they got in a fight? Okay, did they often have issues with each other?
Oh, I've done 5.
If and when did you go into Guthrie's room?
Like 4-ish,
Okay.
I think.
What business did you have going into Guthrie's?
We were to ask him a question about
Okay, did you know that he was not in his room when that happened?
No, we didn't.
Okay. Well, if he wasn't in there, how did you guys get into the classroom? Because it's supposed to be locked.
You know, Guthrie, he didn't. It wasn't locked.
She's got a point.
That's
Probably wasn't locked.
Was Mr. Nelson in the room at all when you guys entered? No. What did you when you left, what was your reason for leaving when you found Mr. Guthrie wasn't in there?
We had waited for him a little bit to see if he was gonna like come, so that we could get his help with creating an assignment thing.
Okay.
And when he didn't show up, I had another meeting I had to go to, so I left.
Okay. Why did you leave without Ima?
She was gonna wait for him longer, and I needed to leave.
Okay, why were you in such a hurry to leave? Was there a thing you were going to urgent, or were you just... Because you were almost borderline running when you left the room. What was the purpose for that?
Yeah, I was late to a meeting.
Okay. What was the meeting for?
It was a meeting for meetings. Learn how to schedule.
Okay, but who was the meeting with?
No one's ever asked me that. It was a doctor's appointment, actually. I was late for a doctor's appointment.
Okay. What was the doctor's appointment for? You're okay. Okay, so we had to talk to the doctor. When you, after you left, did you see any evidence of Mr. Nelson going in there? Or was Mr. Nelson in his classroom at the time after you left? Okay.
Do you have any better?
What's your shoe size?
It depends. It's like anywhere from 6 to 8.
Okay. What's your blood type? You don't know? Okay. When you were in Mr. Guthrie's room, did you get cut or injured at all? No. Okay. Do you recall Ima getting cut or injured at all? No? Okay. Thank you. Sure. I like how we just keep asking you questions. Sure. I'm gonna go for this one.
I'm a very accommodating and gentle and obliging person.
If you get, who did you get in a fight with on Monday? Who did you fight with?
No one.
Why?
Because I don't like fighting people.
Why not?
Because that makes me sad.
Well, where were you seen fighting with somebody on the video footage?
But was I?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, video footage proves it.
Well, what type of fighting did you see?
Aggressive fighting, not physical fighting, but like verbal fighting.
Are you sure? I'm a very expressive person. I like to use my hands a lot when I talk. I'm basically like a white version of an Italian.
Yeah. Well,
I heard that. Very expressive. Ask them. I'm a very expressive person. Wasn't remain so. I could easily see how to be misinterpreted.
well, then why did the other person look very uncomfortable and unsure and look like you were mad at them?
Maybe because they're not used to people who have passion.
Well, then why is that person dead?
That's really unfortunate for them. Ooh, I have no idea. That's a bummer.
Why'd you kill them?
Why would I kill someone?
Because you got in a fight with them?
I don't think I was fighting. I don't think we established I was fighting.
Where were you talking to Mrs. Sandys?
Because she's my coworker.
Yeah, but where were you holding like mysterious bottles of fluid when you were talking to her? You were
Why
very
did they
expressive.
Why did they look mysterious? Did
Because
they have
one
like
of them
fog
was-
around them?
One of them was blue, and it matched the same blue vial of cyanide in the same room of the murder. Why did you have cyanide on you?
I don't ever remember having cyanide on me. She's really messy.
What
she rarely
was-
puts stuff back.
What was in the two bottles, the green one and the blue one that you had when you were talking to her in that
We have lots of green and blue chemicals.
Do you remember? Because she said you were talking about a lab. And what would you need those chemicals for the lab for?
I wouldn't need those chemicals. I use a lot of chemicals though. For methylene blue, that's a blue chemical. I use that for a ton of stuff. pH changes, kind of important in biology.
Why did you need them? Why were you talking to her about a lab? She said you guys were talking about a lab. Do you remember anything specifically about the lab you were talking about?
I don't know what lab for sure she's talking about, but I know in labs in general, shit, it drives me bonkers.
Drives you nuts.
They never put stuff back, so when I go back to find it later, I can never find it.
How would you describe your relationship with Ima?
Cordial? She works in the building. I don't talk to her a ton.
Does not, you know. Would you say you got along with her?
I think so, other than the fact that she thinks that Coca-Cola is better than Dr. Pepper, which clearly it's not. But other than that, though, she's fine.
Okay. What if you and Mrs. Ima weren't fighting? What were you guys talking about?
We usually fight about Dr. Pepper and Coca-Cola. Dr. Pepper is the superior drink.
Okay. But you just said you weren't fighting.
I said if we ever fight, that's usually the only thing we fight about. She insists like Coca-Cola for the last couple of years is better, and it's not true.
But you seem very, very overly passionate about your love for Dr. Pepper. Relationship with Mr. Nelson.
It's been fine the last couple of weeks. He's been super jumpy and like really short with me, but I think it's just the end of the trimester. A little stressed about maybe AP Physics. They're not as cool as AP Bio students.
Do you know any reason why Ima and Mrs. Sandy are going into Mr. Guthrie's room on Monday?
He has popcorn. Maybe they're hungry.
That's why I go.
It's a good reason.
It is a good reason.
I like going in there for popcorn and then watching you guys try to drive in the snow.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, that's funny.
Did you enter Mr. Guthrie's room at all on Monday? No.
No. I was too busy helping students,
Okay.
being an amazing teacher. Sorry, 1 second. Question?
Really good at hopscotch, and you're really good at being aggressive and blackmailing people.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. Aggressive, no. Maybe with my love for plants. I'm very aggressive with my love for plants.
You do have some really good
I know,
plants, Mike.
right? Aren't they so pretty?
If you're not aggressive, then explain this email.
Oh. You gotta find the right one. That's how you know it.
There's a
I
lot
have
of
left
them.
just the 2.1 quiz.
Got it all done.
Oh, really?
I did this morning.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
love how you just gotta scroll to find the correct email.
I have to start with the right one first.
Okay. It's still funny.
Mrs. Body, I'm really upset that you are seeing my husband behind my back. Stop it or you'll be sorry.
That's not even how I write. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a very specific tone in my email. That's not even like... They probably have spelling errors, grammar issues.
I saw you last night with him down to Culver's.
Yeah, I'd be pretty upset if a coworker was like hanging out with my
Nobody
husband.
likes Culver's.
I know that's what I read that email and I was like,
So you
cool.
make a lot of grammar mistakes when you type, right?
Huh? No, I do not.
You do not? Okay.
They probably did. Whoever framed me. Here's the thing. I leave my computer pretty much like this whenever I leave and go places. I probably shouldn't do that anymore because apparently someone's trying to frame me.
If you were framed,
Basically like Jason Bourne, right? Where they try to frame him too and he's really just a good guy.
if you were framed, who do you think would frame you?
I don't know. It would probably have to be a science department because they have keys to my room. I don't know. Sandy's and she's been really jumpy and kind of. She got really like sensitive when I called her out last week on again not putting stuff away and like kind of more so than normal. Doesn't want to talk to me lately. Okay, good. Maybe her. Maybe Nelson. He's also been pretty shady lately. Except he's kind of more off-putting. He's usually not like that to anybody.
Weird.
I know, right?
Put it over there so I don't drop it.
It's okay.
Do you have any suspicions against Nelson? Do you think he may have done that?
Done like killed someone?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if I
Him
can.
and Mrs. Sandy may have killed.
If I had to choose between the two of them, I'd probably say Sanders because I think she's more a little aggressive than Mr. Nelson is. But I don't know if they did or not. I mean, I don't know, but they've also been. They have been whispering a lot to each other lately. Like they like end a conversation when anyone comes by. Like it's kind of weird, and then they don't want to talk to anybody. It's just a little off. But again, it's the end of the trimester. Maybe it's like a personal school related thing. I don't know.
Would you say that Mrs. Sandy seems nervous around you a lot?
Probably, but again, it's probably just because I keep getting after because she will not put any of our biology stuff away the way it's supposed to be. So like none of us can find anything and no one else wants to say anything. And so I do have to be the bad guy that way, and I'm like, I don't like doing that. So like,
Have you noticed anything about Mrs. Sandy acting more sick or unwell?
no, I mean it's cold and flu season. I mean, if she's been a little off, it's probably just because she got whatever everyone else has. Everyone's been getting a cold.
Okay.
Okay. In an email here it says, "You have to. I know too much about you. If you don't, I'll tell the administration and I will go to the news. You will be exposed."
Who's that drama queen?
You.
Does not sound like
Mrs.
me.
Sandy responds with, "You think I would do something like that just because you're blackmailing me?" Then you allegedly
Ooh,
respond,
who's blackmailing her?
allegedly you.
Me?
"You know, I think you're right. Meet me at 11 and I will tell you why
up at 11?
you want to do this for me."
I go to bed at solid 9:30.
Well, on the camera footage, you appeared to be in the room at 11. So where were you talking?
Here?
Yes.
Buller's I'd be here at 11. It's my kids are sick. I have to make lesson plans, which has happened a lot lately because my kids think licking floors is a good idea. It's exhausting.
Did you have like drama with Miss Sandy's in like college at all?
Not really.
No.
Different schools.
Did you know anything that you may have dirt? Do you know anyone who may have access to your computer or would have done this to your computer and framed you?
I would hope that no one I worked with did. But the most logical thing would probably be anyone in the science department, considering they all have keys to my room. So I usually, if I don't lock my computer, I'll usually at least lock my door. But again, so like 9 people that can still get in and out.
Okay.
And if they don't go through my door, they can still go through Sandy's that just connects. Sandy has the most access to my room, honestly, all the time.
Okay. Would you say Sandy comes in here a lot?
Yeah, usually she just track down lab supply stuff because again, she doesn't put it away. And so I just started keeping some stuff in here because I can't trust her to actually put it away properly, so I just do it myself.
Do you think that Mrs. Sandy may have any dark secret that she's hiding?
I think everyone has their own little dark side they always like to hide.
Yeah, but in the alleged emails where you say you're framed, they talk about, and I quote, "I did some research. I know who you really are." Miss Sandy's replies with,
Double side.
"What do you mean?" And you allegedly say, "You are a fraud, your background is well hidden, but I found it." And Sandy replies with, "Okay, we need to talk."
Ooh. Is she like stealing someone's identity?
We don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. This is what that's all about.
I always wanted to meet an identity thief, you know, just to see like how does your brain work? Like how do you just commit so wholeheartedly to something like that?
And then later on Monday, Sandy replies with, "I can't believe you'd ask me to do that. You must be crazy." Do you think
Putting
there's
away lab
any...
supplies? She acts like that's like an insane thing to ask someone.
You have to. I know too much about you. If you don't, I'll tell the administration, and I will go to the news and you'll be exposed.
That doesn't sound like me. But it sounds like whoever's doing it is really selling it. Like super dramatic. Like they should be on reality TV. Like that's some good stuff. Put the Kardashians to shame.
You can help her real quick. Go ahead.
Oh, sweet, perfect. And then anything else? Oh, okay. So for the lab, our lab didn't quite work out because I didn't have concentrated enough bleach, apparently. But I have a stop motion video in Google Classroom. I'll go over this tomorrow as well.
Go look over there.
It's the same exact lab.
We need to go talk to
It's just someone else did it on a thing and kind of recorded what they did, like the steps they did, the size of the cells, the results. They show you the results. You kind of have to estimate some stuff. There's more instructions in there. What I'm going to tell everybody is when you're going through making your lab report, because you'll be checking this all up, and
Sandy's definitely is involved in it.
just
So
for
is
these instructions, it'll be the exact same thing except some
that's
minor
not Direct
differences
Grant.
based on
Grant.
what that person
Yeah.
did. Just make sure you change.
We didn't talk to
think-
Grant much, right?
Do you think
like
Grant
cell size and stuff like that. But you'll still fill out all this data,
is
and then you'll use this
Grant?
information to finish your lab report.
Grant is a
Answer the question. We're working on that tomorrow, Wednesday.
not biology.
That's all we're doing. Yeah, you can watch the other day if you want to. Wait 5 minutes. That'll give you an idea, and then tomorrow you can go through and make notes on like. how
He's
long
a chemistry teacher. Sorry that took so long.
So,
Because if Grant framed her, you have to find motive.
yes, sweet, perfect. I'm gonna have you down. It should be on one of the printers. If it's not, it's on the back table, that back counter.
I didn't even think
it
that
just
would be a
looks-
part of it.
So I just put the word that's supposed to go there, and then why.
It's chemistry of life retake.
And then why.
You should be able to find it. There's a couple copies, I think.
Would you say you have any issues with Mr. Grant?
No. Sometimes he's a little odd, but I don't have issues with him.
Do you think he may not like you or have any reason to be against
Why
you?
would anyone not like me? I'm a very pleasant human.
Apparently you're a murderer, so.
I am not, but I'm definitely being framed. Basically a Jason Bourne story.
Who do you think might have framed you?
If I just someone in the science department, maybe Sandy's,
Every year.
maybe Nelson, probably more Sandy's.
Why do you think Sandy's would have framed you?
What's it called? Forensics?
I don't know, maybe just
Discovery makes like a
she finally snaps with like me always getting after her without putting stuff away, but she needs to learn to put it away. It's a safety hazard.
Did Grant have any issues with like any other coworkers that you know of?
Sometimes with Nelson,
Okay,
but not very often.
very often.
Would you say Mr. Nelson and Mr. Sandys are close?
They have been the last couple of weeks, like abnormally, more so than usual.
Okay.
What's up, Sam?
Hello. Okay.
So I'm just
Confused. Diagramation that would take place. So it was kind of like
This document's gonna be
for this one, you're just telling me
it says to meet her
dehydration,
at
synthesis, or hydrolysis. And then for this one, you're just gonna draw either two glucose molecules like forming or two glucose molecules breaking.
So I have to check that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, do you have anything else for her?
I'm checking.
You checking?
Periodic table of elements.
When you were at the school at all the other day, did you hear a gunshot of any sort?
think so. But I mean, a lot of students jump around and throw things. Just kind of obnoxious. Slam. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I usually jam out to music, so.
Fair.
Especially JB. Love Justin Bieber. He's my man.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Guthrie's room on Monday.
I don't know that I was in Mr. Guthrie's room on Monday.
Well, then why are you seen in the camera footage going into his
I don't
room?
know that that's me.
Why wouldn't it be you?
Why would it be me?
Because it looks like you.
Not everything that looks like me is me.
Okay. Were you in Mr. Guthrie's room when Ima and Mrs. Shandy entered?
I don't know. No, I was not.
Okay. Why were you seen covering the
I
camera?
don't think it was me.
Why don't you think it was you?
Because I don't remember doing that.
Well, I feel like you would remember if somebody was murdered in the classroom next to you.
Maybe.
What is your relationship with Mrs. Sandy and
She's my
Mrs. Parker?
cousin. Well, Mrs. Sandy's my cousin. Mrs. Parker teaches right down the hall right there.
Yeah.
I can see.
Do you say Mrs. Parker tends to be more aggressive?
Oh, that seems aggressive. No, they're both very nice.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
Do you have any, like, idea of, like, any problems Ima may have had with Mrs. Parker?
I don't know Ima very well, honestly. So, yeah. So I'm not unaware of any problems.
Do you recall any coworkers having any issues with Ima or Mrs. Parker?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
Do you have any, like, suspicions of who might have killed Ima or who might have had issues with her?
I don't.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Oh my god.
Hi, Ima.
I got that on video. Of you just saying hi, Ima. Dude, in the video, I'm not. I hope you're a stolen gun.
Is it a competition?
No.
The final?
Yeah. The final is we have to solve a crime.
Oh, that's true. Well, then, either way, why wouldn't you report it? Because that's pretty useful information in an investigation. I don't get why you wouldn't report thinking somebody killed somebody.
Well, I just wanted to see what he had to say first.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. That checks out. Do you have any questions for him?
Do you have
The struggle.
words are hard? Give me a second to re-rack my brain thoughts.
Okay.
Do you know anything about their relationship, Mr. Nelson's relationship with Ima?
I don't.
Do you know
Other
if they
than-
got along or not?
Other than we just worked together, that's about all I know.
Okay. Do you know anything about Mrs. Nelson? Not Mrs. Nelson's. Mrs. Sandy's relationship with Mrs. Ima. Not Mrs. Ima, Mrs. Body.
I don't.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're good. I still need to get my stuff.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, have like quiz retakes.
Why were you so loud? What did you draw on me, by the way?
Just a happy face.
Just a happy face.
Okay, you did both.
Look at how wide the suns can go.
So do you want to just go ahead and finish
The-
the 2.3 and then
What are you doing?
Blowing.
good.
Blowing on you.
We're gonna hear this when I edit it.
The ones that
When I edit this, it's gonna be so weird. It's so
I
funny.
teach what makes us.
I'm so scared I'm gonna wipe the. I'm gonna set this down. I'm so sweaty right now.
Yep. CALLES.
And are we like doing anything new this week or?
Sorry, I'm checking. They're not falling
We're
off.
doing stations. That are pretty easy.
Yo, I love stations. I used to do that all the time with the kindergarten kids, bro.
Oh, did you do that class?
No, I did that at my old school. I had an
Your old
internship.
school?
Yeah.
I
I had
had
a
an
free
actual
period and I
class.
interned with them.
We have a kid. We have like a.
For Halloween and Valentine's Day, they all gave me candy.
We had like a pre-kindergarten class thing. At
And
the
for
school.
Christmas, one of them gave me nail polish.
Are you kidding me?
I love kids.
Me too, but I never have one.
One kid drew me like, one kid made me like a little book and gave it to me. It was like a. There's just a bunch of random doodles. It was funny.
That is funny. Oh, okay. Didn't even really draw that much. Oh my god.
You can push pause since we're not talking.
What happened was Miss Sandys was given chemicals, scaring her into killing Ima. She then took Ima into the room and killed her and left her body there, going to the other teacher, and he went and drug her body and hid it for her. Yeah. Yeah, well, that I can't be mean. That sucks.
You're under arrest.
Deal.
Arrested.
Arrested.
We're arresting you.
Sad. Have I already given you my confession?
No.
Okay. Boo-hoo. Yeah. Okay.
Did you record that?
Yeah. With all the evidence we had gathered from pictures from inside of the closet, with all the chemicals, and with the video footage and fingerprints, blood matching, we figured out who was the killer. We also found the murder weapon, which was a gun, and we solved our case.